Good day and welcome. Welcome to NAC TV's Coffee Chat. My name's Lyle Watson and we're very pleased to have two special guests with us, two members of the Neepawa Lions Club, and we're going to be talking about the legacy, the history, and the future of the Neepawa Lions Club. And we're pleased to have with us two members of the Lions Club, one being Terry Smith. Thank you for taking the time, Terry, and welcome.
You're welcome.
And Tom Borsa. Thank you, Tom, for taking the time to join us. And
Thank you, Lyle.
We look forward to our upcoming coffee chat. And I think we're going to start going back a few years and finding out who started Lions, where was it started, and what was the mission. Terry, do you care to
Well, I've done a little bit of a history on the Neepawa Lions Club, and I really had enjoyment doing this. We date back to, we were founded, the Neepawa Lions Club, on November the 3rd, 1938. That's a few years ago, Lyle.
And what about the Lions organization, the original Lions organization? Where did it start, and what was its mission, and who started it?
Okay, we were sponsored by the Portage La Prairie Lions Club, and the Neepawa Lions Club received when it received its charter, and it was made to the charter president, George Howden, which I think long before my time. George was originally a lawyer in Neepawa, I think. Would you recall, Lyle, of your time in Neepawa hearing?
Yes, I remember that name coming up, and I believe he was a lawyer, yes.
And he received this by District Governor Charlie Carter of Winnipeg. And at that time, they had 20 Lions that were inducted on November the 3rd, 1938.
So the Neepawa Lions Club was inducted or chartered in 1938 with 20 members.
That's right.
Okay, so going back to the start of the original Lions Club, or the Lions organization, what year was it started and who started it?
Neepawa Lions Club?
No, the Lions organization.
Okay. The first Lions Club was formed by a fellow by the name of Melvin Jones and Associates in 1917 in the United States.
In the United States. So,
yes.
Tom, Lions, the organization of Lions is an international organization.
It is an international organization represented in many countries of the world.
Is it?
Oh, yes.
I didn't realize many countries.
Many countries of the world. And it is known for assisting with people who need assistance after a hurricane, after a war, after earthquakes, or volcanoes. That's what's most visible to me. But it's also an organization that helps in many countries with medical needs, outbreaks of disease, replenishing sources of fresh drinking water for third world countries, and all kinds of that type of activity.
Wow. Plus all the other good things you've done in town, which we will be discussing. Yeah.
Oh, certainly, yes.
Lion Tom, can you tell maybe the viewing audience, you're in on our Lions Seeing Eyeglass project. And if you notice that the optometrists in town and the Salvation Army, I believe it is, they collect used eyeglasses.
It's the two pharmacies in town. Both of the optometrists, the United Church is another collection depot. We collect, Lyle, over 500 pairs, sometimes 600 or 700 pairs of eyeglasses a year. We deliver them to the Lions Eye Bank in Winnipeg. The Lions Eye Bank receives them in the cardboard boxes that we take them there, and they ship them to Calgary, to one of the incarcerament institutions, and the guests, or the people who are incarcerated, some of them are trained to read the prescriptions. The prescriptions of the eyeglasses are cataloged, and then the eyeglasses are shipped to third world countries like in South America. The Philippines is another area that they go to, I know. And they have clinics where people come in. There will be optometrists who live and work in those countries, People come in with vision problems. They haven't been able to see well for years. Their eyes are inspected by Lions Club members who are optometrists, or at least trained to be optometrists, and then they're matched up with a pair of eyeglasses. One of our former members, Lion Ernie Sidor, tells us about having been personally involved in the delivery of eyeglasses, and he says one of the most heartfelt things he's ever experienced is to see the expression on a little girl's face or an adult's face when they put on eyeglasses and suddenly they can see clearly.
Yeah.
Big smiles break out, and they just are beside themselves with joy.
And that makes volunteerism just stand out and makes one feel good. So one of the benefits of the Lions Club, I'm sure, is the feeling you get when you are involved in those types of projects. Terry, what is your slogan or your motto of the Lions Club?
Well, the Lions Club motto is "We Serve," and I believe with that motto that we have is that if there's ever any kind of a need in a community, people send us letters and ask us, could we assist them with this? Sometimes we have to say no because we don't have the funds to do it,
Yes.
but we would try every way possible to help somebody in need, to give them a better part of a life.
Yeah.
During
And
the
something else that comes up too is, I think Lion Tom can refer to, is our seeing eye dogs.
Well, the money that we send to our main club, to Lions International, that money that is sent there, some of it is directed towards the training of seeing eye dogs, and it takes a lot of money to train a seeing eye dog, and these dogs are gifted to people
Yep.
who need seeing eye dogs, and it's one of the things that our club participates in, and that Lions International sees to it that funds are provided to do this.
Yep.
So,
And I guess too, when a few years ago, when I was back at a Lions Club convention, there was a lady from Wawanesa came and spoke to us, and also it's just not all just for the eyesight, but they do train these dogs that if a person has epilepsy or seizures like that, this dog would be with this person, and it could sense that something was happening, and that dog will try and turn that person around. There are thoughts and what's going on in their mind and everything like that.
Stabilize and comfort them.
Yeah, and comfort them. And this woman from Wawanesa that I heard, her little boy, there he had high stress problems, and she got teamed up with this dog, and that dog would walk the little boy to the bus in the morning. It would get on the bus, sit up on the seat with the little boy, and that little boy was just great. They said at school, if he happened to get stressed and he would start to get hyper, this dog, sometimes the little boy would lay down, the dog would lay across his chest, and that dog could comfort that young child.
Yeah.
So this is another thing that I've learned that our Lions Club does for all ages of people.
And that's the thing about a service club, and in this case the Lions Club. Individually, we can't accomplish a lot of the things or the way we can help people further outside of our community. But being a member,
where vision is concerned, and Lions Club's participation, and Lions Eye Bank is concerned, one of the things that's very important that many people in the province of Manitoba will be able to relate to is cataract surgery. Lions clubs in the province of Manitoba contribute hugely to the financial need to provide surgical equipment and the environment for surgery as it relates to cataract diagnosis and cataract surgery. Many people you know, Lyle, and that I know, and that probably you know, Terry, have had cataract surgery.
I've had it myself.
Oh, yeah. And so a good deal of the equipment that is in these surgical theaters is provided by Lions clubs.
Wow. So all the fundraising always goes to a good purpose. I want to take a look on the personal side of Terry and Tom here as Lions member. How long and when did you join the Lions Club, Terry? How long have you been?
Well, I originally joined back in 1977 with my work experience. I was out of the Lions Club for a few years there, but I've been back in the Lions Club for 5 years in Neepawa here. And it's a happy group to be with when you're serving the community. Like, we just finished a project there, and it was thanks to Lion Tom, my supporter. We had a 50-50 draw, and we brought in $4,430 is what it was, and the winning ticket got $2,215. When we started at our meeting, my goal was at maybe $800, and I had family health problems. Tom took over. He organized selling tickets at Co-op and different places, and it was a fun time. It brought the Lions, all of our members together.
Yeah.
Can't you stress on that, Tom?
Oh, you're being a little too kind to me, but we had fun. One of the reasons.
Expand on that fellowship a bit within the club, and when you're serving, the benefit you get from a service.
Well, you asked Terry how long he'd been a member, and I've been a member since 2010, so that's 12 years now.
Yes.
Okay, and I was a commercial traveler living in the town of Neepawa, and I found that after 20-some years of being on the road, being a commercial traveler, that I didn't really know a lot of people within the community, because when I came home from being away from home, I was at home.
Yeah.
And so I joined the Lions Club because there were 1 or 2 members there that I had known for many years, and I wanted to reconnect, and I wanted to spread my wings within the community and get involved in the community again. And boy, did that ever work out well.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
So I really find that the camaraderie, the sharing of life experiences with other people in an environment that is not a work environment, it's very uplifting and very, really expands your horizons.
It's good for our mental and spiritual health
well, it's good for mine anyhow.
Yeah.
You might argue with me, Lyle.
And we have fun doing what we're doing, aren't we? It's a fun group.
Well, the fun thing was, here's something that's really nice. The fun thing is the recognition that you receive from the community. When we're sitting there selling 50-50 tickets, for example, people will come by and they'll look at the sign, the Lions Club. Oh, you fellas do a lot of good in the community. Yeah. We'd like to support you, and so. There were times that 2 of us were so busy writing tickets that we had to kind of have some people stand in line for.
But Lyle, do you know what really happened? The winner of our 50-50, I got 2 Lions Club members that are arguing who sold the young lady the ticket. Tom says, I think I sold her the ticket. Don Chubby says, I sold her the ticket. But Tom says, my writing was on the ticket.
Yeah.
So, and one other project that we do
knowing those 2, they'll be discussing that for the next week.
Well,
yeah, that'll go down in history.
That young lady was lucky that she got the award because my handwriting was nearly illegible.
Oh, I see.
And we had a hard time.
Yeah. Okay.
And what else do we do at Christmas time, Tom?
We sell Christmas cakes.
Yes, and I have been very pleased to have bought some of the Christmas cakes, and they're good. Not only supports a good organization and fundraising, but the cakes were good. So.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to doing that again this year, Lyle.
Oh yeah.
There, and our meeting is coming about October, and I believe the order is going to be going in, and we ask people to support us. There, the money stays in the community.
Yes.
There, and plus you're getting something for your money.
Yeah.
We have, I have anyhow 2 or 3 people who've asked me about the Christmas cakes already this year. They come in a nice little square box. They're very good cakes. Their price is very reasonable. I think we'll still be at $15 a cake this year. And they make great Christmas presents. And people are just looking forward to get them because it's so easy and such a welcome gift
Yeah, yeah.
at Christmas time.
It is, and it spreads the joy of the season and the spirit of the season too.
That's right.
And
Certainly.
you get the benefit of that. Let's take a look at some of the bigger major projects that the Lions have accomplished in our community, Neepawa District, and I think we'll start with Lions Riverbend Park. It has, the legacy of it is ongoing, and I think it'll be here for many years to come in the future. Terry, can you just comment on
Well, I have in my notes here some of the things that we've taken on. In 1954, the Lions Club took on the project of establishing Lions Riverbend Park there. And the town of Neepawa now has taken over the operation of the park. Members of the Neepawa Lions Club still help support financially. We have the playground equipment down there, which that was a large venture for us to buy.
That was over $20,000.
Over a 5-year period is what
Yep.
we budgeted, wasn't it?
Yep.
Wow.
There. And it gets used, I bet you, 18 hours a day. That playground does down in the river park. Other things that we have taken on is we've helped with the washrooms, upgrading of the camping facilities, and the playground equipment, as I mentioned. And now we have Stony Creek School there, which we've had it declared as a heritage site. And this is what we're raising money for. Do you want to?
Well, Stony Creek School was moved there from just west of Neepawa in, what was it, 1964? No. Yes.
1964 and 1965.
Okay.
One of those years, yeah.
So it was moved to that site in 1964, 1965. Currently, the Lions Club uses the schoolhouse as our meeting area, our meeting room.
Yep.
But it is used by the what's the summer
the town of Neepawa daycare.
The town of Neepawa daycare summer
And then a
summer
teacher-
camp.
Yeah.
Town of
summer
Neepawa
camp.
summer camp.
Yeah.
Okay, then our Retired Teachers Association uses it for a couple of days a year for an association meeting. And then from time to time we will have a special family, in most cases a family gathering event where the use of the schoolhouse with its seating capacity, with the park area out front and a nice day for a little family picnic or something like that. And of course we don't rent it out, but we graciously accept any donations for the use of that. I remember one particular occasion during COVID when a family had needed to gather for a special event, and there was no place in town where they could gather simply because of the restrictions relating to COVID. And we were not, we were able to allow the family to use the facility for their function. They were so grateful, and it worked out so beautifully. And there have been other little events that take place there from time to time.
Really?
Yeah. So
See, those are the things that we as community members in Neepawa District, we take for granted. That the playground's there, the Lions Riverbend is now managed by the town, so we figure that, you know, sometimes we tend to think, well, that's all town. But that's not the case. Like you people are still supporting and providing playground equipment and supporting in other ways too. And sometimes we should think about that sometimes when we think about the benefits of living in our community.
the day camps are interesting because the youngsters, when they come into the school, they like to sit at the old desks.
Yes.
That's one thing they like to do.
Yeah.
The other thing is they all like to see the strap in the teacher's desk. They all like to ring the bell.
Yeah.
And everybody likes to draw and write on the blackboard,
Yeah.
you know. So
So it's a day of a lot of memories.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Exactly.
You know?
some of those desktops in that schoolhouse have people's initials carved into them. And I don't know who the people are, but I won't mention any names, but, it's just a little piece of our town's history.
Yeah.
And we want to preserve that schoolhouse because it is sort of a special little site. I don't know if very many people can sit up and say, the schoolhouse that I went to is still standing.
Yeah.
But this one is still standing.
Yes.
And it's in pretty good shape, but it needs attention.
Yeah.
And
this is what we're working on.
We're working on that right now.
And on behalf of our community, it's an opportunity for me to say thank you to the Lions Club for preserving that that building and that history, and for years to come. And so we're grateful for that.
And we're open to donations also.
Yeah.
When we were selling 50-50 tickets, several people didn't want to buy a ticket, but they said that we'd like to make a donation. So they gave us some cash,
Yeah.
and that went forward to do that. And
Many ways of doing
last
it.
night I was we were out for supper, and I was talking to Mel Goodwin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he went to school at Stony Creek School, and he said to me, Terry, he says, I used to walk to school every day, 1.5 miles. And he says, I've got a lot of memories of that school. And I said, someday, Mel, could you and I sit down and could we reminisce about it? I'd be glad to, he said.
That would be interesting.
So that Mel Goodwin said he would give me all he knows about it.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. Tom, another project that has left a large footprint in our community is the Centennial Project, the nursery school. Could you kind of just give us a bit of background on it, and how is it functioning, and how do you support it?
Well, the nursery school is functioning every day. I think it functions 24/7, 365 days a year. The building was totally funded by the Neepawa Lions Club. Our sign is on it. There's no mortgage attached to it or anything else. It's just there.
Yeah.
It's a nice little building. It works very well, and it's used very well.
So how many years did it take you to raise enough money to build that building?
You know what? When I joined Lions Club in the year 2010.
Oh yeah, so it was built.
It had already been built. I think it was likely built in probably early 2000.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Perhaps 1998, somewhere in that period of time.
So there's no more need to be raising funds for supporting it at this point in time in any way, shape, or form, like for equipment or anything.
No, it self-sustains.
It self-sustains. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some of the other bigger projects that the Lions have here as a legacy?
Well, years ago, Neepawa Lions used to hold what they call Parco, and they used to. That's when a car was worth $3,500 or around that, and they would hold a large bingo, and this was brought people from all over the province there. We participated in the Neepawa Lions Club band. That was a big supporter years ago.
Yeah.
Every year we still give what you call it, a bursary, Tom, or a donation to the school for a student.
It's a scholarship that we provide, and it's administered by the school staff, and they select the criteria by which the funds are awarded. We don't decide
Where
the money goes.
Yeah.
The school staff does, and they pick a special set of criteria every year.
Okay.
And I guess once again, Lyle, too, is that we used to give a fairly good large donation at one time. With our smaller group of members, we've only got 11 members now. The average age is about 70 years old. We just don't have the funds to support the big time donation that we used to make, but we want to keep our name as part of the memories of people receiving this from the Lions Club.
It keeps our name in front of the public, and it's a very much appreciated little scholarship, and I'm sure the recipient appreciates it. Well, we receive a nice letter every year from the people.
And the recognition to the Lions Club is very deserving, and it should continue on, and that hopefully would do that. Well, you mentioned membership, average age being 70. You're down to 11 members, and you were at 20, was it, when you first started?
Well, when I started a few years back, we were at 20. We've lost a couple members to the death over the last few years.
Yeah.
And a few, I shouldn't say older, senior members have retired because the health wasn't quite good enough. So even with our group, we aren't a strong health group, but we want to be there to keep our name in the community
Yeah.
and support everything we can.
Membership recruitment is one of our biggest challenges.
And not only the Lions Club, it's for every
Every club.
organization, isn't it?
Every year, for the last, well, when I joined the club in 2010, I think there were 30-some members. We're down to 11.
Yeah.
Every year we get about one new member or two, but we seem to be losing one member
Yeah.
or two.
Yeah.
It would be nice to attract some of the 30-year-olds, Lyle, and the 40-year-olds into our club. So our door is wide open, and we're a fun group, and our commitments are not heavy. Okay, but we're challenged with our recruitment by all of the activities that the most active people in the community are challenged with. They're taking their kids to hockey games, to lacrosse games, to volleyball games all winter long. They're busy with their families. Young families and young couples in today's world, as opposed to 25 years ago, are traveling a great deal more in the summer.
Yes.
And all of this is competition to our recruitment abilities, but we still do recruit members,
Yeah.
and we certainly have our doors wide open.
And we meet the first Wednesday of every month.
That's what I was going to ask. You're down to meeting once a month.
Once a month.
Other than when there's some special need.
Yeah, if there's a special meeting
Yeah. Yeah.
there. But we meet at the schoolhouse when the weather is good. And we've got a nice old stove we fire up even like November and sometimes in December. But then otherwise we've been going to the Bamboo.
Yeah.
Is where it is. And we usually meet at 6:30. Social, either bring your own food and barbecue it, or if we're at the Bamboo, then we order there. And then our meeting usually starts at 7. And it's usually no longer, unless I get long-winded sometimes, they're half an hour to 45 minutes.
Perhaps,
And and our membership fees, I think it's about $85 a year.
$85 a year. Yeah.
$85 a year. So you spread that over 12 months. You're not making a big commitment,
No.
but it's taking up your time, which we want you to be part of our group.
Tom, you mentioned that the younger families of today are very active with their children in sports and everything, as we were too. Back in our days when we were younger, and a lot of the service clubs used to have family events. Does the Lions Club have had or do have any family events that could encourage these people to join the club and include family things too?
Actually, no, we don't. We've had Christmas parties,
Yes.
and that is about it. Otherwise, we meet, we socialize, we share our last month's experiences and talk about things that are interesting in the community, and get down to our Lions Club business, and then enjoy our company with one another. But we really have not, to be honest with you, we have not had family functions.
I guess, Tom, what we say again too, it leads down to we don't have the manpower to be able to do, because a lot of times at an average meeting, we'll get 5 people come out, and it's hardly enough for a quorum, is what it is. We have other members that they'll help, like when my 50-50, they sold tickets, but they've done their share over the years.
Yes. Yes.
Is what it is, and they were younger people, and they've sort of burnt out. It's getting a hard time to get the fire out and get them going back to us.
Get back to it.
But I think at this time it'd be nice to mention a group that helps the Lions a great deal, and it's the Lionels.
Yes.
The Lionels are a group of ladies who are largely the wives of Lions Club members, or the wives of past Lions Club members, and they are a group of about 20 or 25. They are not part of the Lions International formal organization. They just are a group that meet together and they gather together simply because they like to.
Yes.
And when we are doing a fundraising event, and when we are short of help or need some extra manpower, pardon, we're woman power, You know, these ladies, you know, I call up, or you'll call up one or two of them and say, hey, can we get 3 or 4 or 5 people to help us with a fundraiser that we're doing? And they just come out and they're actually better at it than we are.
Yes.
So I would like to formally say to any Lionels that are out there, thank you, girls. And next time we ask you, we're sure looking forward to the help again.
But at this time, Tom, you don't have any female members of the Lions Club.
They would be most welcome.
That's my next
They
question.
would be most welcome. But at this point in time, we do not have any female members in our club. We've approached the Lionels on one particular occasion that I can remember and asked them to please, if you are thinking of joining our Lions Club, we would welcome you with open arms. But they prefer their informal, no strings attached
No strings attached, yeah.
group.
But they're there, Tom, if we need help.
Absolutely.
They're there with their arms out saying, we'll do what we can do for you.
Yeah, yeah.
And that is a positive thought.
Yes, yes, very much so. But if we're looking forward to the future and increasing membership, probably is it fair to say that we're in the need of the female participation in terms of the Lions Club increasing their membership and going forward with a lot of the good projects that we've talked about?
Well, there are the ladies that we'd absolutely welcome the ladies as members. Any of the ladies, you don't have to be the wife of a Lions Club member.
That's yeah.
You know, and the other group is there's a huge Filipino population in
Yes.
the province, or in our town, and there's a potential there as well. And we have thought and talked about making a specific recruitment thrust to the Filipino population, but we haven't done that.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Yeah. Yeah, that there's a whole potential population, part of our population.
Yeah.
And they're young and energetic, and they would make excellent Lions Club members.
Yes, yes. Well, that's an interesting point, Tom. That's for sure. Then, in terms of other projects that the Lions Club has left a legacy with our town, we've mentioned quite a number. Have we covered? Have we missed any of the more important ones?
Well, there's a couple of things that happened during the course of a year, like the Rose Bowl or the Fine Arts Festival. We support that. We have supported that every year for many years, as many years as I can remember anyhow. And we do have, I think we talked about this earlier, but we do have individual requests or suggestions that come to us that perhaps certain individuals may need some assistance in the community for one reason or another. And we have entertained those to the best of our ability. As far as other things that the Lions Club has done in the community, I cannot bring.
At one time, we used to support the July the 1st day, festivities. The Lions Club were really strong on July the 1st.
Yes.
Years ago, when we had more members.
With fireworks, etc.
And the fireworks. We used to participate heavy in getting donations. But as I say, we're crying for extra bodies to try and help us do some more of this in the future, because the town, they need help in things they put on, and we try and work with them, is what it is. But we're at a limited, all our bodies are getting too old to do a lot of things. Yeah. I guess is the way to put it, Lyle. And as we age, we would like to get some younger people, but we will also accept any age in there.
But I thinking back, I always remember the Lions float in the Santa Claus Parade, for example, was always, and in fact, many years was the winning float, and you always had good participation. Do you have enough members to put a float in this year?
No, we looked at it last year there when COVID was on, and our float was getting old, and I had suggested that I've got a scooter and I decorate it up and come down the street, but I think everybody would have a sore side laughing at me, so I might just back away from that for the time being. But if I am, you make sure you give me a wave.
Yeah, we could certainly
I
do
might
that.
even have a candy cane for you.
Yeah. But, you know, that's the consequences of people not joining the service clubs, in this case the Lions Club, is that there's a price to be paid in other events, and the Santa Claus Parade is one of them, and there's lots of events in town that rely on the support of the Lions Club, and that may not continue on in the future, and somewhere along the line we have to solve that and get people out to join. And
Did I mention to you, Lyle, that one of our senior Lions Club members, Cecil Pittman,
yes,
he has been a Lions member for, what did I say there, 53 years. He joined in June of 1969. So Cecil Pittman, which everybody pretty well knows in Neepawa,
very much so.
he is one of our senior Lions Club members.
Yeah.
And he still comes out to meetings, and Cecil will do whatever he can to help us.
Yeah. And he's done.
He even sold tickets
Oh, yes.
for our 50-50.
He's done,
You know, so
he's
we've
done
got a
s-
place for you if
he's
you
done
want to
so
come
much.
with us.
Cecil has done so much for the community through the Lions Club.
Oh, that's
Thinking
right.
back, my experiences, it's amazing. Yeah, 53 years as a
Yeah.
member. Well,
That is really remarkable.
we certainly give
Yeah.
our tribute to.
And I
Cecil
don't
for
think
that.
he has missed not very many meetings.
Oh, he's quite a consistent participant for sure.
Yeah. Back to Stony Creek School and the fundraising that you've just completed. Is that restoration going to be done by hired help then, or you won't be able to do it as the members?
Well, the Lions Club members themselves will not climb on the roof and nail down shingles, and
No.
nor are we going to scrub down the siding and that sort of thing. So we will have to hire a contractor. However, when it comes to scraping the side of the building and doing that, it's crossed our mind to solicit a group of volunteers to come out and scrub down
Interesting.
the exterior of the building. We'll see. Once we've got enough money to get started and finished with the project, we're gonna be making some decisions at that time.
That's
See, the
that's
heritage-
an interesting point is to, because there again, although it sounds like work,
Yeah,
if you tie in the fellowship to that day
but
or
it could
two,
be a fun time.
it could be a fun time.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like with the Heritage Committee, they're overseeing that they want it back as close to original. They're talking about cedar shakes on the roof, which they aren't cheap.
No.
And then there's a few places I've been down there snooping around. There's outside of the school there, and a few boards need to be replaced. The paint is peeling bad on the walls there, and that would take a fair bit of work.
Yeah.
Is what it is. But the Heritage, Jason Nadeau, our secretary, he's put a lot of time into investigating and checking on availability and pricing.
Yes.
And I don't have a figure of what we would be looking at. Would you know, Tom, if we followed the Heritage Committee requirements, would you say 60,000?
No, it'll be somewhere in the vicinity of 40 though.
40.
Yeah.
So where do you stand currently? You'll need some more fundraising projects?
We
will
will
you?
need a few more fundraising projects. One of the things that happens is when we use Heritage funding, their funding insists that we install cedar shakes
Yes.
on the building, which was original.
Yep.
And that is going to be, in the vicinity of $15,000 to $20,000 just for the shingles on the roof.
Yeah.
And our club is having a really good discussion about whether or not we really want to use the Heritage funding at all, because if we use the Heritage funding, it's only for half of the cost of what we do. And we're very close to the point right now with the money that we have on hand that we could reshingle the roof with asphalt shingles that are good for another 30 years. and repaint the building with some volunteer scrubbing and some perhaps donated paint.
Yes. Yep.
And not spend nearly as much money as if we followed the guidelines of the Heritage Foundation.
Yes.
So we're having that discussion right now. It's active. No decision has been made, but we are fundraising because we do know that this building needs to be refurbished.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I wish you well on that endeavor, because it is very important to Lions River Bend and to our district here to have that.
Oh, it's a nice little facility.
Yes,
Yep.
and the history of it is in itself, and it's also will become, I think, somewhat of a tourism draw. You know, like people might bring their family and they want to look at an old country school and what they were like.
Well, as I said before, you can talk to 50 people on the sidewalk and ask them, does the school, the country school that you attended, still stand?
Yeah.
And they will say, no, it doesn't. But this one does.
This one does, and with hopes of standing for many years to come.
Oh, sure.
Something else Lyle just mentioned maybe is that, like, we are open to donations. If anybody in the community would like to donate money, we're not set up where you get a government receipt for income tax.
Yep.
But there's a lot of people, when we were selling 50-50 tickets, said, I don't need a receipt. I just want to see that school survive. So if there's anybody out in our area that would care to make a donation, we would really appreciate it. And if it was a big enough donation, I'm pretty sure we could likely have a plaque put on the wall for this. I'd take that on myself and just say, but
well, and that would be a good idea in the form of sponsorship or whatever, to have a plaque or recognition. And that would be good.
Don't you think that would be the way we would look at it, Tom?
Sure, of course. Yep.
Yeah,
be a good idea.
Well, as you realize, I told you our time would go quickly. It does. We probably could talk for another half hour, but I think at this point we're going to think about our closing time is close, and I think I'll start with you, Terry, if you have some closing thoughts that you would like to share with our viewers at this point.
Well, my mission is that I don't want to see our Lions Club disappear, because the other night when we had our 50-50 draw, the question came up down at the school there, what would happen if the Lions Club folded? Where would the school go? Well, I guess it would likely go to the town, but it's the recognition that the Lions Club have had for years with that school, and we recently purchased it. I don't want to see that school, or I don't want to see the Lions Club fade. I want to see them grow. And our motto is we serve, and I think that would be my closing there, is I'd like to serve the community of Neepawa to the best of my ability.
Well, thank you for sharing that thought with us. Tom, your closing thoughts for today?
Well, my closing thoughts are to tell people that being a member of a service club, and in this particular case the Lions Club, has a lot of rewards. You get to meet people who live in a work environment that is different than your own. You get to share thoughts with people in a relaxed atmosphere. We have our fundraising events that we do, and they are fun. It's rewarding to be recognized in the community, to be a member of a service club such as the Lions Club, and we are going to be welcoming any new members with open arms. It is not a huge commitment. It's a little commitment from several different people that makes this all work. So come on in.
Yeah, and enjoy the benefits of joining.
Of course, yes.
Well, on behalf of NAC TV and our viewing audience, we would like to express our appreciation, Tom and Terry, for joining us today and talking about the past, the legacy, and the future of the Neepawa Lions Club. And we wish you every bit of success in expanding your membership and continuing on to serve Neepawa and district. So
thank you, Lyle.
Thank you, Lyle.
You're welcome. Pleasure being here with you today. And to our audience, We say thank you for watching, and until next time, stay healthy and stay happy.